if they could just be given the chance. So welcome everybody to our DC Talks. And we are officially starting now at 10:30 Eastern Time. We're live on YouTube as always. Everything is working well, and we are blessed to have a great um, group with us today, not just global leader students who reflect something of the direction of Durham College, but also the management here who are leading us and building the college in a way that's going to be very, very sustainable and resilient for the future. We have Dr. Elaine Popp, our president, who will be coming to introduce the class. You want to come up and I'll give you a microphone. I just wanted to let all of you know that the topic of today's class is this idea called the zigzag career path. And it's something that at the college we really understand, which is virtually nobody's career ever goes in a straight direction. And I'm not sure the students want to hear that because they probably all think it just goes, but you have to be able to stick handle, to go this way, that way, and this way. And you're going to meet a lot of people today who will help you to interact with that. So, Elaine, let me give you the microphone. It's working, and yes, so there's the students coming in what we call the Cosmos, which is synchronously online, and then of course we're recording, we're live on YouTube, and that then is available to a whole bunch of other students too. So we've got it all ticked off. Okay, so please go ahead.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Lon. And thanks to the Durham College Alumni Association for inviting me to participate in today's event as well. Before we get too far underway, I'd like to take a moment to get us started in a good way and express gratitude and honor the Indigenous peoples who have lived and worked on this land historically and presently. I'd like to recognize and continue to respect the enduring presence, contributions, and resilience of Indigenous peoples. Being aware of the reality of our shared history, we must acknowledge that we all have a responsibility to contribute towards reconciliation. And we do so by recognizing the past and working towards a shared future as friends and allies. Durham College is situated on the traditional lands of the First Peoples of the Mississaugas of the Scugog Island First Nation. And these lands are covered under the Williams Treaties and rest within the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, which also includes Algonquin, Chippewa, Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi. We offer our gratitude to the Indigenous peoples who have cared for and through the treaty process share the lands on which we live, learn, and prosper today. Miigwech. So I am thrilled to be here today and help welcome our panelists and proud DC alumni. Yeah, big hand. So we have Adam Hare, Carrie Ann Large, Leslie Seeley, and Kirsten Walker.
Oh, that's Kirsten online. Yeah,
Online.
great. Yep.
Okay, I was thinking I
she's
hadn't
there.
seen Kirsten yet,
Yeah.
but she is here. She's
Yeah.
just not physically in the room with us. Welcome, Kirsten. So as Lon mentioned, today is about a zigzag career path discussion. And you're right, I don't think anyone takes that linear trajectory.
That's right.
And everything we do at Durham College aims to prepare career-ready graduates. And we hope that all of our students find success in their chosen profession. However, the path to success, as we've indicated, is not usually a straightforward one. And there are many stories of DC alumni who, for various reasons, find their careers and lives take unexpected twists and turns. And this could be perhaps because of the direction of their lives requires them to relocate. It could be they transform a new passion into a fulfilling career, or they pursue further education that opens up new doors. What we hear time and time again, though, from our graduates, regardless of the industry that they end up working in, is that leveraging the connections and skills they acquired here at DC help to propel them into the next chapters of their lives and careers. So I'm sure many of the students in the room today are both excited and maybe a little bit nervous about what the future holds for them after graduation. And so I hope you will find some inspiration in our panelists' stories today and take some comfort in their stories and pay attention to their advice as you embark on your journey. So it's now my pleasure to introduce Ariel Sully, who is DC's Associate Vice President of Advancement and Alumni, and she's going to be our moderator or facilitator for today.
Excellent. Thank you. I just wanted to let all of you know that I'm going to fall back and sort of do tech support and make sure that Ariel has what she needs and Dr. Pop and everybody else. Okay, so you may see me floating around and doing a little bit, but it's only to make sure the tech is, golden. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Lon.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And thank you, Elaine. I am absolutely thrilled to be here this morning. This topic is definitely near and dear to my heart and something I'm passionate about as well. I always say I did not grow up saying I wanted to be a fundraiser, and you don't hear that often from kids, my young kids. They all talk about being maybe a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, and always ask me a lot about my role and what I do and how I got to where I am today. So I'm really passionate about this and really excited to dive in and chat with our incredible panel of DC alumni that are here with us today. So as Elaine mentioned, success is not always linear, and in every twist and turn, there's some sort of lesson or something that you can take away from it that really provides that valuable experience and helps to build that resiliency, a skill that we know is so vital, not only in work, but also in life itself. In addition to many students here in the room, we also are joined by many alumni and members of the DC community, each in various different stages of their career. So I think that's what's really going to make our panel quite well-rounded today. One of the themes that I'm sure we're going to be touching on is continued education. So whether that's through formal education or life experiences, I know that each of our panelists can speak to the importance of lifelong learning, which is something that's really important to us all here at Durham College. Lifelong learning can happen through many different ways. It can be through mentorship, through career coaching, and even networking events like this one. So as you've heard, take advantage of this opportunity and network, speak with others around you, and really take the opportunity to soak it all in and learn. DC also offers many opportunities for those looking to expand upon their existing education with an additional credential. We've got pathways programs that can help leverage your credential into a university degree. We have graduate certificate programs that are designed for students with previous education or work experience, and flexible programs offered by our professional and part-time learning area as well. So whatever the future holds for you, I encourage you to create and seize those opportunities. Engage with our speakers today, ask questions, get involved. Feel free to jump in at any point when something comes to your mind. So let's get right into it.
Okay. Yeah. That's it.
Do you need
That's
to
it. No,
get out of the way?
Go ahead. And if they need any help, just hand the microphone around. Thanks, Alec. Okay. Good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am going to have each of you start off by introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about your journey, what you do today, and what unexpected turns got you to where you are right now. So maybe I'll start with you, Adam.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. Nice to see you guys. Nice to be back in Durham College. Feels good. Feels nice and warm here. So yeah, I definitely zigged and I definitely zagged in my career. I graduated Durham College Multimedia and Design in 2006. No? Okay. So, and I immediately left Durham College, eyes wide open, and went into the city, into Toronto. I had a wonderful time in Toronto. I worked for the world's largest music company, for Universal Music Canada. I got to follow around Gene Simmons. I got to work with the Tragically Hip. And that all led me back into a family business in insurance, which is not where I thought I would be, but where I am now. I'm having a fantastic time. I'm a third generation business owner here, and happy to share more of that story, but that's kind of my zig and zag. I had a clothing line in there. I'm also an owner in a creative agency. So happy to kind of dive a little bit more into that. But as of today, I'm sitting here, proudly in Oshawa, back in the family biz, and happy to kind of be back with all of you now.
Me to go next? Go ahead.
All right. Well, like Adam said, it's great to be back. This building didn't exist when I graduated from Durham College. My name is Carrie Ann Large, and I am a graduate of the legal administration course in 1997. See, look at, and Adam and I have known each other for a while. We're just learning so many things here. So yes, this building, when I came to Durham College, the purple pit was actually purple.
With shag carpet, I think
Yeah,
somebody
shag
said.
carpet, and yeah. So it's great to see how much it's advanced. But yeah, I also zigged and zagged as well. I don't do anything in the legal administration field now. I'm the CEO of a nonprofit, the Whitby Chamber of Commerce. I did try to launch my career in law when I graduated, but quickly found out that I didn't like working for lawyers. So it was time to to zig and zag and just find something else. And that was supposed to be a small, temporary thing. It turned into an 8-year career in executive assistant and sort of learning the ropes about office management and different things. Now I could, and I think we'll probably talk about it later, but the skills that I learned in the program, I was able to transfer into the different roles. But my real zig and my real zag passion came when I opened up and decided I wanted to be a baker, and I opened up a retail bakery, and for 15 years made and baked cakes and appeared on Food Network, and nothing to do with law. I even burnt Christmas cookies. I think the month before I decided that this was going to be my new career, but a long career. And, finally, when I decided to retire from that, I went into the nonprofit sector, and I love it. I get to work with, colleges and universities and business owners. And yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Maybe we'll go online
Yes,
to
Kirsten?
Kirsten.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Kirsten. Do you want to, you're welcome to share your video. You don't have to. Nice to see your face, but if not, as long as we hear you. It's
I
great.
think I am sharing my
How are you?
video, but let me know if you can't see me.
Let's see. Kirsten?
And Kirsten is with us from London, England, actually.
Yes, sorry, I'm not there in
see,
person.
she's, go ahead, Kirsten.
Okay, can you hear me okay? Just to check.
Let's see. You're there. It could be a speaker issue. Oh, I know. Kirsten,
Yes, can you hear
go
me?
ahead. I'm just doing a little. Can you, in the live chat, just put that you can hear me from the global classroom? Just go yes or no. Probably. I can hear you. Okay. So were you speaking just now, Kirsten? Because we couldn't hear you. Okay. So this might be a little above my pay grade, but I'm going to try and stick handle this quickly with troubleshooting. But maybe for the moment we could move on.
Yeah.
and I do
Zigzagging.
the troubleshooting, a little on the bench. I'm going to the bench.
We're zigzagging. It's all good. It's all good.
We'll get it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my name's Leslie Seeley, and I'm a 1986 grad from sports administration. Yes. Woo. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I'd just like to mention my zigzag started very young when I was 13, and I was a candy striper at a hospital in Guelph. And do any of you know what a candy striper is? You wore this. Okay, so this pink and white or red and white little outfit, and so I wanted to be a nurse and a missionary, and I wanted to be in Australia, but I'm here in Oshawa. Fast forward to an 18-year-old who got a 6-month contract at IBM in Toronto, and I thought, I was just doing mail or something, and these ladies are at these great big computers, and I thought, I want to do what they do when I grow up. So I applied to Durham College to become a computer programmer. And for the 3-year business program, that was my goal. Second year here at Durham College, the athletic director calls me into his office and says, Seeley, you're failing. You're failing everything. They're going to kick you off the basketball team. So we're going to switch you over to sports administration. Okay, yeah, that sounds like something I'd like, because I was on the varsity basketball team, volleyball team, and softball team. So switch me over to those programs. 4 years in Durham College. I graduated in 1986, started working at a sports store, did not like it, and applied to be a clerk at General Motors 31 years later. I finished my career at General Motors in 2018. And I have an MBA which I got when I was 55.
Wow.
Good for you.
Very good. I would like to try something very quick, which is I know what I'm doing now, and if it doesn't work, then we don't have a full connection. But I would like to quickly troubleshoot with Kirsten. I'm going to do something very fast, and it should work. Okay, Kirsten, I'd like you to just start talking, even if you're talking to yourself. We
Okay.
could hear you. Okay, so start talking, telling us
Alright.
what you were going to do, and I'm going to run through some different microphone
I
settings. If it doesn't work, then we're going to
Okay.
have to move on. So
Sounds good.
start talking, okay, Kirsten?
I'm
Go
s-
ahead.
I'm starting to
See if
talk.
I can do
Not
this.
sure. I guess I can introduce myself.
Well, it's
Is it working at all? No.
Oh, we've got you.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
wow, yeah. This is
Okay.
what I call the IKEA illusion. You get an IKEA manual; it's very simple. You fix it, and then you think you're brilliant. It wasn't that difficult. Okay, so I should be. Okay, excellent, Kirsten. We've got it. Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Great. Thanks for having me, everyone. Sorry I'm not there in person. Like Ariel said, I am in London, England. Well, actually, I'm not in London, England. I'm down in Dorset on client site at the moment, which I'll talk a little bit about what I do currently. But yeah, I graduated from Durham College in 2010, if I'm remembering correctly. Born and raised Durham region, so from Whitby originally. But then then from high school went to McMaster University and actually came to Durham to do a graduate diploma in HR because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do as a career. And it was my mom that said, "Well, you love working with people. You're so fascinated about why people do the things that they do and helping them out." So she's the one that suggested doing the diploma. My time there, I also played on the women's soccer team, so Go Lords. We did quite well that year and had a blast. But now, from there, went straight to Toronto as well, and I got a job at Deloitte. So I was working internally in HR for Deloitte in Toronto. Then had a little bit of like a quarter life crisis and thought, oh goodness, is this what I want to do with the rest of my life? And decided I was going to move to England. Picked up and went to England, got a transfer with Deloitte, and started working there. And that is where I discovered the great world of consulting. I didn't know you could consult in HR. I didn't know that was a thing. And there's so many different facets to that. And that was really my introduction. And from there, I've either been an internal consultant with companies or an external consultant, meaning having different clients and different organizations. So definitely a zigzag for myself as well. And I always say to people, I fell into the consulting world by accident, not even knowing it existed. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Thanks, Kirsten. Am I saying that right? It's Kirsten?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. And you never came home either. You're still in England. So
Well, I did come home for a few years, and I came back and worked for TD Bank and the TTC within that time, but then decided to come back to England and do a master's degree. And then I never left. So I've been here for a while now.
awesome. So we know that sometimes when you shift in your career paths, it can feel like you're navigating that uncharted territory. You're not really sure what you're getting into, if you're going to love it, if you're going to hate it. And it can be unknown, and that at times can be scary. But through that, you often uncover strengths and things that you didn't necessarily know about yourself before that end up being such a valuable lesson. So maybe I'll start with you, Leslie, to talk about what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced while shifting career paths?
The biggest challenge for me was when I started working at GM as a sports administration grad in the facility engineering offices with all men, and they were engineers. So I wasn't a really good fit, but I had to learn their language and learn their processes, and I worked really hard to fit in, and I believe that I did. So that was one big challenge, and now that I'm the owner of a spa in Oshawa, I forgot to mention that earlier. After retiring from GM at 2018, in 2019, I opened a franchise in Oshawa that's called Pure and Simple. Little plug there for Pure and Simple. And yes, you do. Good point.
You can put the website up. Should we put up the site there?
Yeah.
I mean,
P-
this is instant
P.S.
knowledge. So
P-
go ahead,
please.
okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna, do stuff on the bench.
Okay. I never sat on the bench, by the way. Just
Well, you're on the ice. I'm on the bench. That's the way it'll be.
Okay, so so the next thing was being when I retired, I was a facilities manager, so I knew all about buildings and how they operated and kept them running. But then I opened a spa where we do facials, so I had to learn how to build client relationships there, learn about the industry, and manage a staff of estheticians. And I would never be an esthetician because I would poke your eye out. So those were my biggest challenges.
It's all about being, like I mentioned before, adaptable, resilient, just really open to trying new things, open to failing sometimes too, and that's okay. Carrie Ann?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, after college, like I said, I went and worked for an organization, where I learned how not necessarily a business ran, but I learned about different aspects of business. So then when I decided finally that I was going to open this bakery, I thought, well, how hard can this be? I'm just going to do things that I love. I'm going to bake cakes and make people happy and be a cool mom to my kids. And I quickly learned that now you have to be something for everybody. You have to be the HR person. You've got to be the accounts receivable person. You've got to be the payable. You've got to be the stock person, the scheduler. So I wasn't really doing the things that I loved. Like I wasn't making the cakes, but it was all part of having that business and just learning to manage it. That's what it was for me. Learning how to just like manage your time so that everything can get done, and not just like haphazardly. Like it had to get done well. So that was a big thing that was thrown to me that I thought, no, I'll just open a business. How hard can it be? But there's a lot of roles that you take on. There's a lot of hats that you have to wear when you're an entrepreneur. So that was a struggle for me to learn to adapt that. And when you have staff, you've got to realize that you're responsible for paying those people, and they have families that they have to support. So you're not just supporting yourself and your family; you're supporting a staff of 5 and their families. So a lot of responsibility, but it's rewarding. It is rewarding, but definitely was something I had to learn to adapt to. Yeah.
We'll get into it a little more later too, but I'm sure in your role now, when you look back at all the skills that you had to learn when you had your own baking company, you're grateful now that you picked up some of those skills.
So just probably as I was starting to feel comfortable, so graduated, I said, went to work at Universal Music Canada. Just as I started to get to a point in my career that I felt like I kind of know what I'm doing. The family business was back in Oshawa. They were struggling on the digital marketing side. I was building these marketing plans for these world's big artists and massive plans and involved in all of this fun stuff, and went, oh God, how can I go back and start in a really small at the time family company and bring my skill set and kind of have the ego to wipe that aside and just say, we're going to start again and we're going to start fresh. So it was, I think it was 29. And feeling like I'm getting into my 30s. I found my groove. I know who I am and what I am. And then went, I'm going to leave music and go into insurance. Like there couldn't be a worse thing. I remember walking into the office my first day after I made the decision. And the decision at the time was, I'm going to come and do this for a year and we'll try this out. I was going to come and be the marketing director, learn about the business, probably help them get in a good space, do a rebrand, relaunch the website, maybe work on an app, work on a few things. And I remember the first day walking in, and even like I was the only one that had a Mac laptop, and everyone was like, who is this kid and what is he doing? But yeah, being humble enough and being open enough to just completely start again and reimagine yourself and reinvent yourself. I was fortunate enough to speak to the graduating class. I don't even know what year. It was a few years ago now. And I spoke a lot about continuously reinventing yourself. This morning before I came here, I'm working on a new business, and I'm still terrified about what tomorrow looks like. But I think every decade, I just turned 40, and I still feel like I'm finding myself. So it's a continuous evolution. Take your time and enjoy that ride too, right? It's not about the end. The end is the worst part. Once you get there, I get so bored once I get the thing done. I'm like, all right, let's start again. Let's find a new one. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah. Cereal.
Embrace those challenges, right?
Would it be all right if I just stepped in and see if any of the students would like to? Is it okay? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I have first. You cannot look at the book. No, you can't look at the board. How many faces have you touched? 82,913. So I couldn't resist.
Don't touch my face.
Resist. 82,913. Well, those who work with you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. We have real success there. Let's move the mic around and see if there's anyone here among the students or in the Cosmos who would like to ask anything. Alec, anything you'd like to talk about? We can move it around. If not, we'll continue. But I always say to Sally when she's organizing this, we've got to go to the students as soon as we can. But then when I do, sometimes students feel a little intimidated, with the guests. Please
Oh,
don't.
We've got a
They want to
question.
hear from you. So yeah, go ahead. Alec?
I guess I'll kick this off. Has there ever been a point where when you made these career changes, you ever felt you were out of place? Because like you felt like you went into this career change, you didn't know what was happening, but after you were there for a couple, like, did you still feel like maybe you didn't belong there even after those many years in that field?
I still feel out of place right now. Yeah, there's days that you're on top of the mountain and you get this win. Our team has won awards. We've been published. I've been on the front of magazine covers, and in those moments, you get to celebrate. Right? You give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing something that's meaningful. But I have self-doubt all of the time. I think that's a very human part of who we are. You're always going to feel that. I felt that in school when I was not prepared enough for a test. Yeah, so I think constantly and pushing through that and being resilient is the key to all of that. I think anyone, like, being in business, working for a company, there are days that are wonderful and there are days that are going to suck. Hopefully the good days outweigh the bad days, but that is life. It's probably life at home as well. Yeah, and just being realistic in that approach of thinking that I love what I do. I still have to do some pretty terrible things. We were having a conversation about being here. Yeah, I manage a team of 50 people across Ontario, and it's difficult. And there are things that come up, and family issues and personal issues. There's a lot of days that you're doing things that you don't ideally want to do, but I do carve time to still focus on and be thankful for those great days and those great moments.
Apparently, Kirsten would like to share her camera, and I'd like to try and see. It may be an issue here, but Kirsten, go ahead and actually share your camera, and let's see what the internet will accept today.
Yeah, my camera's
Because it should be okay. If not, we'll just stick with audio, okay? But you should come up, and let's see. If not, we'll keep moving the conversation around while she's trying.
Behind the map.
No, that's us. What will happen is you can see her here. Okay, that's Kirsten right now, and she should come up as a. But let's see.
I've been hiding.
Oh, we see you.
Solved
I've
another
been hiding.
problem. Hold on. There it is.
Oh no, I
Yes.
can- that's too big.
Good. Sorry, that was on me. Of course, Kirsten is with us. Is it okay if she speaks for a little bit and then we'll come back?
Please.
Kirsten, go ahead and say what you'd like to say, and we're going to keep moving the microphone around. Okay, please. We can see you nice and clearly.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. No, I think we were just on kind of talking about challenges when shifting career paths. I think I had two big ones. One of them was cultural. The other one, just absolute different requirement of a skill set that I hadn't had sharpened in my toolkit yet. I obviously started my career in-house in HR, in operations and in learning development, which was really cyclical. And when you're in an environment like that, it's quite predictable. You know it's expected of you. It's a lot of the time can be straightforward. When I shifted into consulting, it was a completely different ball game. I then had to be okay with ambiguity and a less defined scope of work. I also had to be a problem solver, and I was the intellectual property of the company rather than producing something as part of a bigger cog in a bigger machine. And that was quite a stark change for me, as well as just really having to tap into interpersonal skills like being a negotiator, being an influencer, getting people to do things that you need them to do in order to achieve the outcomes. So I had to gain those really quickly. And then that cultural aspect when I moved to England, and I don't know if any of you have British family or friends, but they tend to speak a slightly different covert language, even though we're speaking English. So I think one of the first things I learned was if a British person says, that's interesting, it means it's bad. So the little things like that, and trying to navigate the culture whilst I'm also navigating a career shift was quite challenging. And just on someone's question about do you ever feel you're out of place, well, goodness, I felt out of place culturally, but also felt like a bit of an imposter. And I still do, but I've become comfortable with that because I associate that with growth and learning. If I don't feel like I'm the smartest person in the room, or I feel, ooh, okay, these people are really impressive, then it's where I want to be, because that just means that I can just absorb and emulate the people around me. But still doesn't feel quite comfortable. And I think if you're too comfortable, then maybe it's time for a change. Is kind of how I've lived my career life so far.
Great. Let's keep going. Yeah.
All right. So maybe we'll jump back. I think maybe I'll pass it over to Carrie Ann because you touched on this before. But what were some of those skills that at the time you may have felt, I don't know why I'm doing this, or this isn't something I need in my job today, that you use quite often in your role now and where you are now?
I mean, I went to school obviously for 3 years for legal administration, and I learned a lot of legal things. And then, of course, when I didn't actually take that career move and work full time in a law firm or doing any sort of law clerical work, I was like, great, I went to school for 3 years for nothing, and I'm never going to use what I learned because I'm just stuck in an office, doing data entry. But that role actually evolved into where I was able to be the point person for contracts and executing contracts. So, not thinking that I was going to actually be able to apply my legal skills and my legal knowledge, I was, because even in an office setting, there's all kinds of contractual things that I was able to leverage what I used to, review them before they were signed, if it was between, office and vendors, or whether it was office and clients. I was able to actually leverage them, and I still do today. Like I wouldn't change what I studied for anything because it puts a different lens on the way that I look at things now. In this role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leslie, what about you?
I would say that my time at Durham College, the 4 years I spent here with the faculty in sports admin and the coaches on all the teams, gave me competitiveness and perseverance. And I have taken that. I think it pumps in my blood, actually. And I've taken that into every role I've been in. And GM, okay, like I'm 53, why don't I do an MBA now? And when I finished the MBA at 55, that was in 2018, and that's when General Motors closed, and I had to leave my position. So getting the MBA gave me the strength to decide I could be a business owner. So, and then, oh, by the way, would you like to be a professor at Durham College and teach a part-time course in the spa management? I can't teach aesthetics to the students because, like I said, my hands are meant for throwing balls, not for doing facials. So I teach management courses to the aesthetic students here at Durham College. So definitely, my skills started on the sports teams and with Durham College, my second home.
Life certainly does have a way of throwing those unexpected twists and turns and challenges your way, that you never know where you're going to go. Adam, anything you want to add?
Yeah. So graduating from media and design here, creative thinking has been at the core of everything that I do, and it's been probably the biggest asset that I've brought to every business I've worked on, any board I've been a part of. Going into specifically, I keep going back to insurance and throwing it under the bus. It is a great industry, but there's not a lot of creativity in insurance. One of the reasons why our business has done so well is because I've got to get into a room with great leaders who understood the insurance world, but didn't apply a creative mindset or an outside of box thinking. A new person coming into that business and realizing that, sitting back from a 10,000-foot view and going, and I questioned everything and I tore everything apart and we started again. I can only imagine that some of the success that we've had in that space is because we've looked at it through a different lens. So yeah, Durham taught me all about how to think differently and be different and act different and how to apply that. And it's a skill set that I use every single day.
I'd like to just mention something to the students that may not be so clear to you and see if you can answer this. Leslie just said at 53, she went and got an MBA, and that got her to GM. But then GM closed. So there was that zag. Now it's a zig here. Then you open a business. Then you zigged over here to teaching. What do you think is the critical quality that she's displaying in her ability to manage that? Sean? Adaptability. Would you say that's, Sean is saying adaptability?
100%. 100%.
100%? Excellent, Sean. Go ahead. Yeah, I want to put that up here and we'll keep going. Yeah.
So I've got another question here, and this one's really about networking. So we often hear you hear the saying, it's not just what you know, but also who you know comes into play with your career. But for me, when I think about networking, it's more than just for career opportunities. It's opportunities for support, different perspective, somebody to challenge you and maybe play devil's advocate and provide a different opinion that you may have not thought about. So, what role has networking played in your zigzag career path, and how have those relationships that you've built over your career really helped to shape your journey? And maybe we'll go to Kristen online first.
Yeah, we'll bring her back. Go ahead, Kristen.
Hi. Yeah, definitely is vital for, career progression and navigation. I actually got my Deloitte job. Actually, I got it whilst I was at Durham College, and Durham College was brilliant at accommodating me to start that job a month or so early, while still finishing my diploma. But I got that job through a teammate when I played on the varsity soccer team at McMaster, and I had kept in touch with her, and she worked there and said that there was an opening, and that's how I pass along my resume. That's how I had access to that job. And that's really what started my career. And since then, that is basically how I've navigated through kind of my zigzag career path is relationships and networks and past clients that have moved along, but we've kept in touch and they've said, oh, there's this role here, or there's a piece of work I'd like your consulting firm to bid for, things like that. And it management consulting is about relationships at the end of the day, but I have found not just keeping those relationships warm and keeping in touch in an authentic way, but also kind of your online presence as well. So a couple of my jobs I've also gotten through LinkedIn, through headhunters that have looked at my profile. So yeah, that's kind of been my my journey through shaping and building relationships, and it's not just from college or friends or friends of friends, but through teams, either from sports or hobbies, things like that. You never know when the next opportunity is going to come down the line, and people are thinking of you for it. So yeah, that's been my experience so far.
Maybe I'll pass it over to Adam. We were just talking and chatting before we started today, but especially in Durham region too, it's a really small communities, right? So you don't know who, when you meet someone at some event, what that may turn out to be one day.
Yeah, I would look around this room and guarantee that you will be in touch with, doing business with, reconnecting with, propelling your career with somebody. I was just going through my head and thinking about the people I'm working with now, and there's multiple people that I went to school with that have started their own companies that I'm either hiring as a consultant or doing freelance work with. The human connection is the true currency of business, I believe, and being a connector is your biggest asset. Being able to look someone in the eyes, have a conversation, shake a hand, meet someone, those relationships are invaluable to your career. And I completely took for granted growing up in Durham region. I said, to hell with it all, I'm going to the big city, and left and went to Toronto and started again. In Toronto, it was so difficult, but coming back to Durham, and we were having this conversation before it started, I immediately started saying yes to every opportunity that came my way. Hey, Adam, do you want to come to this event at night? And inside I'm going, oh, not really. I kind of want to go put my track pants on and have a beer at home, but I'm going to go. Hey, Adam, do you want to join this board? You're creative and maybe you'll be great here. I'm not really. Yes. And even if I wanted to say no, I said yes. At a detriment maybe to my mental health a little bit over time, but said yes to a lot. And the people and friends and the connections I have now, all really come back to, and this is maybe a chamber plug, but I really got involved with the local chamber network when I got back here. A really great network of local business owners. My friends now all own really great companies. We can cry together, we can laugh together, and those are all connections from coming back. The invite to come here and knowing Sally knows my mother, my father, like Heather and I, like this whole panel, we walked in and went, hey, how's it going? So I would be very cognizant of the circle around you, and don't only leapfrog for the person who has the greater, more money, best job at the time, because you have no idea who that person will end up being. And ultimately, it really shouldn't matter about that. I think just making human connection is very important, and it'll just go such a long way.
I agree with Adam 100%. I mean, obviously, I work for a chamber of commerce, so we put on 100 events a year that focuses around networking and making those connections and giving opportunities to build those connections. But I look back to when I had the bakery. If it wasn't for the chamber, I wouldn't have met Heather. I mean, Heather over here is now like my best friend. I wouldn't have known Adam. And I've made all of those connections, and now I know I could, if I have an insurance question, I can go ask Adam. If I have a government relations question, I can go ask Peter now, just because I've built those connections. And one story, just real quick story I'll share is my son, who just turned 18. Oh my gosh, terrifying, terrifying. Was applying for college, and he ultimately decided he's coming to DC, and he's doing the electric vehicle technician course at the trade center down there. When we were there applying and doing the tour around, I was saying hello to a bunch of people because I ran into a lot of people that I know through my professional circle, and we ran into Tony Doyle, and we were talking, and Tony introduced himself to Nolan and said, when you decide to come here, if you decide to come here, you always have a friendly face. And they talked and they connected for a little bit. When we walked away, Nolan said to me, he goes, "Mom, is that why you go to all of these events? Because now you have all these friends." And he goes, now you're affording me opportunities that I didn't think that I would have." Just because of what you've done from networking all this time. So for him to get it now really was a full circle moment for me, because while I did all this networking for myself, I've now sort of set the stage for my children as well. So the power of networking is huge.
And I can imagine you said you do over 100 events a year.
Over
But
100
every single time you step into that networking environment, you put yourself out there. And I can imagine even if you do it all the time, you still get nervous.
Mhm.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
It gets better. It
Everyone
does.
probably also be like, oh, they're really comfortable going to all these events that they do all the time, and I still walk into a room and go, I probably would rather be at home with my family.
Yeah.
And I'm here, and it's uncomfortable. But comfort on the other side of uncomfort, if that makes sense.
Walk into rooms.
No,
Walk-
comfortable
that's
with
what it
being
is.
uncomfortable
All
is the
these
latest.
dignitaries.
Can I just jump in and bring a student perspective from this? Because you may not be aware that a person just arrived. And before I put that person over as the digital scribe, she is our scribe. She usually takes notes, Afoma. As it happens, the conversation has moved in a very, I think, opportune direction, which is human connection and networking was on pretty good display here last Friday, I would say, with an event that Afoma actually coordinated called the Cultural Cafe. And I wondered if it would be okay if she updated everybody on how that went for before you go over to the board and do the notes. That would be great. So tell us how it went with all of that connection that you put together. Go ahead.
Yes, so on Friday from 6 to 9 p.m., we had an event called the Culture Cafe. It was an open mic event themed Spill the Tea. And the purpose of this event was to teach people more, to give people the opportunity to learn more about other cultures. So during the event, we planned to have 50 guests, but we ended up having close to 100 that turned up that day. We partnered with different restaurants around the school to make this event possible. We partnered with the Office of EDI and International Students Office to spread the word about the event. Then during the event, we had various performances on various performances on display. The Malayali Alliance was here, the DC Blogging Club, various clubs came for the event. And based on the feedback, I believe that a lot of people really liked it. They enjoyed the food, they enjoyed learning more about. Yes, we also had the Indigenous Office come here. They had the jingle dance on display, and we just learned more about the various cultures and diversity we have here on campus. But I think the most surprising thing was that we planned for 50, but ended up having close to 100.
Wow. Fabulous. Fabulous. Way to go. Thank you, Afoma. Is it okay if you do the no? Yeah, go ahead and I can stay here. Excellent. Please go ahead.
Do we have time for
Lauren?
one more? Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll ask this one. So, what advice would you give to someone who's considering a career change? And what advice would you give your younger self about the value of embracing that change? And maybe I'll start with you, Leslie.
The biggest advice that I can give you is don't be afraid to follow your dream or pursue other opportunities, step out of your comfort zone. Basically, that's what I did every opportunity I had. It makes you stronger. And the advice I would give my younger self, maybe believe more in myself and enjoy the ride along the way. And
Adam?
Enjoy the ride.
So yeah, I completely agree with all of that. I would also say younger me probably didn't know it was okay to change the dream. You guys all have a dream right now and think like you're going to hit a point that maybe you get there. And the scariest part is when you get there and then you go, what's next? So dare to dream bigger and dare to kind of change that dream and know that like it's okay to change. You guys are evolving massively. We're all evolving. Things will constantly change, and be okay with that. Advice to myself would be like enjoy the moments, enjoy that journey. School was so much fun. I was stressed in school, and I look now and go, oh, now I know what stress is. So really, and it's so hard to say. I think you say this to like a new parent coming in or all these moments, but really try to just take in that moment for what it is. And when you get some success, you get the great mark on a test, or you win a project, or you win an internship or a new job. Like really bask in that, and enjoy that, because all of these little pieces will add up over time. And there really isn't this like moment. I think I've been chasing my whole life for this like on the mountain moment where I'm going to stick my flag in and go, I have reached it all. I don't know what that is. I think I'm just really making sure that I wake up with a smile, get to work with really great people and continue that mission every day. So far, that's panned out okay for me.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something. You just tweaked something. I want to let you know that it goes by very quickly. That's why I'm saying enjoy the ride. It goes by so quickly. When my son turned 30, I had a moment of, how did he get to 30 when I'm 25?
Right? 18. Mike's
So
18.
it goes so quickly.
Poor Heather's probably shaking her head going, oh my God, I remember when he was 9, right? Like it does. It goes by so fast. And I think that's what I would say would be, don't sweat the small things. That would be the advice to my younger self. Like I was worried about, okay, now I've graduated college. I've got to get a job in the legal field. I've got to get a lawyer's. Don't sweat the small things. It's going to all turn out the way it's supposed to turn out. And it would be by embracing those opportunities that are put in front of you. Don't discount an opportunity because you don't think it's where you should be going. You never know. I didn't set out to be the CEO of a chamber of commerce. I don't even think I knew what a chamber of commerce was when I went to college. But if I hadn't embraced those opportunities along the way, I wouldn't be where I am today. So yeah, don't sweat the little things and embrace the opportunities in front of you.
Is there, I'll go to the students to see, because I know that they often have a lot to say. I might even excellent. Is it possible you could come up here and sit on the couch so we can see you, or would you rather, it's up to you, but that way we get a little nucleus going, and then everybody else are the electrons zipping around. Here are the protons and the neutrons, right here, okay?
My question is, how do you start off your career? Because I've done like LinkedIn and Indeed, and I've done networking, and yeah, I think that's it. I've reached out to businesses, not on Indeed and Glassdoor and stuff, but for years, and I've had like no luck. So I was wondering what advice you could give me.
I would say you got to just keep on keeping on, girl. I heard so many no's out of the gate. I was, yeah, I mean, like I had pretty high expectations, and I was going for the job, and realized really quickly that out of the gate that's not going to happen. Take what you can get. And I know it's frustrating, and you're probably waking up every day and going, oh, that resiliency that you're building right now in that time is gonna benefit you later down the road. So it feels like it's shitty, probably it feels like it's kind of hard and it sucks, but it's making you stronger and tougher. Keep going, keep coming to things like this, keep talking to people. Good things will come of it. I just have some patience.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, just it's perseverance. Take advantage of the opportunities again that are in front of you. Durham College has an incredible program with the chambers of commerce, and that's all 7 of them across this region. There's different networking circles in all of them. Don't just bucket yourself into one. Go to all of them, check it out. There's different people in different areas that just might be that one connection you need to leapfrog you to the next thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Durham College puts on some fantastic events and networking opportunities for our students. So really tap into that, leverage that, keep building your skills. Something will come your way.
Stop learning.
What's your name? Samantha? Great. Is it okay if I just ask you one other question? Is there anything else you'd like to say to the class? You feel you're getting some takeaway here? It's really important you learn, okay?
Yeah, I really like this networking opportunity, and like listening to all of you. And yeah, I don't really have any more questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Samantha.
Can I go to Kirsten online?
Yeah, let's come to Kirsten.
Any
Go ahead.
answers there?
I'll bring her in for sure. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I think
There she is. Excellent.
it-
Go
you
ahead,
know,
Kirsten. Yeah.
I would just echo what everyone else has said, really. I graduated just when the recession happened, just after 2008. And I was in the same boat as you, Samantha. I was doing everything. I was on all of those websites, trawling through, applying to anything and everything, not even getting responses. I was working at Montana's, so I was waitressing, so at least I was making money, which was good. But the alternative is to not try, and then you're just guaranteeing an outcome there. So completely agree with what everyone's saying in terms of perseverance and grit and resilience, and these are the building blocks that will carry you through, throughout your career, because you know what you'll be made of, and how you navigate that. So just keep doing what you're doing, I'd say.
Another thing I'd also add, I can speak from my perspective in my role. I'm a fundraiser and I work with donors, and I've heard a lot of no's in my lifetime too. Take that opportunity to ask for feedback. I think that's always a really important part of the process. Ask why not, why no, and take that
Yeah.
feedback and make those changes and learn from it. So use
Think
those no's as a learning
constructively.
opportunity. Exactly.
That's great. I'm just watching the clock. I just want to make sure we're good. Are we go to noon? To noon? Okay, we're good. So for all of you, all of my other students, Kinza, if there's anything you'd like to say, Madison, Aaron, okay, and then there's a student back there as well. Aaron, would you be able to come into the circle and then we'll give you the mic? That way we'll be able to see. Sean, I'm sure will have something to say. He's always got some good insight, and that was great what you said about adaptability. You're on it. Okay, Aaron, go ahead.
Okay, so earlier you spoke about it's okay to change the dream. So my dream is to become a political leader back home, and it's something I'm working for right now. And so all these years of my life, I'm trying to position myself to be able to take the position of being a political leader I want to be. But at the end of the day, there's democracy, and if people don't put you in power, then you don't achieve the dream. But you see, that's the dream I want to achieve by the age of 40. My biggest fear is getting to that point and I don't get in power. So 40 years of my life gone. What do I do?
I don't think it's 40 years gone. I think it's 40 years of learning. You will, what we've all just talked about, you will be networking with the greatest people. You will be pushing yourself. You will be learning new skills. You'll be taking new courses. That's a perspective thing. It's definitely not 40 years gone. I think you look at the professional athlete who wanted to become an NHL player who doesn't quite get there, but ends up finding another great career through something that they figured out along that way. So I'd challenge you to open your mindset in that. And in the pursuit of that dream, wonderful things are going to happen. And in 5 years, that dream might be changed. So I would say keep your eye on that, keep an open mind. And it's really hard to understand how many other avenues are going to open up because you're chasing that one area. And that happened for me massively. Back to what Carrie was saying, I never thought I'd be sitting here as an owner of an insurance brokerage when I was in school. Never. So I'm here.
Aaron, can I stay with us, okay? Because it's really important that you learn from them, and it shows leadership that you come from there over there and you sit here and you say what you said. So that means you're stepping up. You're stepping up. So no, but they can open you up to how you can get there, but it may not be straight. So if you have any questions, feel free, okay? But let's keep it going. Do you want to say something? Or
Just echo everything Adam,
yeah,
Adam
'cause he's-
said. Just challenge yourself to do the uncomfortable. Make the mistake. That's how we learn. You'll get there. And like you say, and it might zig and it might zag, and it might not be in a year or 2 years. But along the way, you're going to learn about yourself, which is important.
Absolutely.
I'd like to add
Say-
to that.
yeah, Leslie, go ahead.
When I finished my MBA and it was in my 31st year at TM, I thought, okay, now I'm going to take on more leadership roles. That's what I wanted. I wanted to move up the ladder. I wanted more leadership, more responsibility. But they closed 6 months later. I was gone. I was like, oh, great. What did I do my MBA for now? What a waste of 3.5 years of my life. But no, got me the job here at Durham College teaching, gave me the confidence to open the spa. At first it was like, oh, what have I done this for? What a waste of money. But now I look back, yeah, it had its purpose. There was another plan for me.
Any other? I saw a couple other hands go up there in the audience.
There was a student back. Do you want to come up, please, and come join the protons and the neutrons here in our nucleus? We love science. Critical. You got to understand science. I was not good at science when I was much younger, and then somehow stepping into the college here teaching, it's like I got whacked just by the fact that that's the reality of the world. You better understand science well. You will not be ready for the world as it is. So, anyways, please give your name and then go ahead.
Okay, so my name is David, studying artificial intelligence. So I wanted to ask, as regards, the rejection, when you get no, like, and like, what would be the approach to ask for that feedback? Especially when maybe the person is not, maybe doesn't want to give you that feedback. Like, how do you, get, how do you, convey that message that you want to know what didn't get you into the door?
Yeah, you want to get better. You want the feedback, and you want to
Yes.
get better. Absolutely, for sure.
So yeah, I think I'm just going back to when I was heavily interviewing, and I wanted to be a creative director for like this massive company in Toronto, or a few of them, and was going for jobs that I probably was way out of touch. And I think you've already hit the nail on the head. Every time one of those interviews, I'd get to see someone and get the email and said, "No, Mr. Hare, I'm sorry you didn't quite get the job." I would immediately ask for all of that feedback. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. And when I did, I would take it. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to take corrective feedback on yourself or criticism, and not internalize it and turn super negative with it, but really be able to take that and bottle it and turn it into power. There's some really great people when you're in those rooms and you're interviewing and you're having these conversations. We really are a student again at that time, and being able to take that and exercise it and be able to kind of get better with it. I heard a lot of no's, and it felt really shitty for a long time. Eventually it turned into a yes. So keep asking.
Yeah, I think also, a lot of the time when you ask for that feedback, people admire that. People admire you wanting to take that step to figure out what you could have done differently. And a lot of the times you'll also hear like it wasn't necessarily about anything you may have done or did. It could be a timing issue. There's so many other factors that could go into sometimes why we hear no. And face that rejection. So I think, from my perspective anyways, I really admire when people ask for that feedback, because it shows you're willing to grow.
And I'll just add to that. I mean, if you're asking for the feedback and maybe you don't necessarily get it, I know for myself, because you asked for feedback, you'll be top of mind for me if that opportunity comes again.
Kirsten?
Because you took the time to want to understand.
Want to bring Kirsten in on this? Yeah, go ahead. Kirsten, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, completely agree with all of that. So I'm a business psychologist by trade, but work, in the leadership space within organizations. And I remember not too long ago, a few years ago, I got to a final round interview to be one of the psychologists for the Toronto Raptors, and I was desperate to have this job. I think needless to say any more than that. I thought that was just the ultimate opportunity, and yeah, ultimately the final round got rejected from that. And I did ask for feedback, and it's true, sometimes you will, sometimes you won't, but the person the head psychologist that interviewed me actually did respond to meeting a week later just to give me some constructive feedback and who they actually appointed the role to. And actually what came out of that was a good, increased self-awareness on where I can develop, but what was also really good and what my strengths were, and to build on those. But secondly, talking about networking, that person's now in my network, and there's somebody that I keep in touch with periodically now just to see what they're up to. So there's so many different benefits that can come out of even just rejection or putting yourself out there to ask for feedback. It really can be quite a gift, and can allow you to zig and zag actually from that and realize where your strengths are and where to double down.
It's a great example. I just wanted to make connection for Aaron because I know him. He's in the global leader class, and you've come up and you said you want to be a political leader, which makes sense given what you've said and the way you look at things. But Kirsten has just described a situation where she wanted this badly. She didn't get it. But that didn't stop her. So she didn't give up on anything, did she? So you could be pursuing that, but you don't get what you want. That doesn't mean you stop. It means you carry on with the contact, and then you might even get something better. Kirsten, I don't know if this is true. I'm just going to ask. Would you say now that you were rejected, you didn't get the job, are you in a better place or a worse place or the same place emotionally and sort of the way you look at yourself?
I mean, definitely a better place because I was able to get that external feedback on, where my development points are, but also a bit of a validation of where my strengths were, and it built my confidence quite a bit. And that's not to say as well that I don't go and do a job like that in 5 years' time. Um, but I've gone off into a slightly different direction, which I'm enjoying thoroughly. And all of those skills are transferable and actually build on top of, if that opportunity were to come again, I know exactly,
Yeah,
how to
exactly.
approach that. Yeah.
Thank you, Kirsten, for you get it? Yeah, good. Alec, go ahead. Is it okay if we move it around? And yeah, go ahead, Alec. Yeah.
Question on the zig and zagging. Has there ever been a moment where you changed career paths where there was kind of like a lull period where you didn't have anything planned and you weren't sure where you wanted to go?
When I left when I made the decision to close the bakery and just not be an entrepreneur anymore, it was about 4 months. I had no idea what I was going to do. Not a clue. Went on vacation. I thought about it. Luckily, I had a family and friends that were very supportive of me trying to figure it out. But I had no plan when I closed the bakery. But an opportunity presented itself, and I took it. And I don't think if it were for that opportunity, I'd be where I was today. But I had no plan. No plan at all.
Kinza has a question. Do you want to get the mic? Could you come in, Kinza, and maybe sit with Alec, or you can stay there if you like, as long as you have the microphone, or you can stand. Good. Yep, you're on.
Okay. Going off of what you said, yeah, there was like a period of my time as well where I did not know what I wanted to do. I had a few years ago, I like completely changed majors. I was first in accounting. I think I've told some of you guys. But yeah, and then after I left accounting, I had no idea what I was gonna do. It was just it was how I got into Durham College was just spontaneous, to be honest. But like I did know that this is what I wanted to do. This is what I did want to learn. And then how it came about was just spontaneous. And then I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And like I stuck to it and now I'm here. So yeah.
Wow,
Good.
that's cool. That's exactly what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I want to add to the not knowing question that you had, and that is when General Motors announced they were closing. I didn't have a plan. I didn't see it coming. Didn't know it was coming, and so I thought I didn't. Yeah, I took a month off. I've never taken time off. I had to think about what to do now, and that's when I decided to buy the franchise. But I had a lot of work ahead of me to do that. It was very scary. Very scary.
That what in that unknown. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like all I knew was General Motors. I lived in a bubble. 31 years. I just went into work every day, and I thought only General Motors existed. I didn't know anything else. But opening my own business has changed my life. Networking. I didn't get to respond to the networking, but it started with the Business Advisory Center of Durham here, who help you in the Durham region bring small businesses to the Durham region, and they're a valuable resource, and you can use them if you want to open a business. And you guys also have access to all the chambers, and you also have that for the year after you graduate, you have access to that. And they put on amazing programs that you can utilize, and it's there for you. So I suggest you take advantage of that.
The reason I'm asking is I'm a mature student. I was working in healthcare for 8 years. I did building management, property management, staff management, worked through the pandemic, basically burned myself out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, always in the building. And so an opportunity arose with my partner. So I'm now back in school, but I still don't know where I want to go.
I think I have an idea.
Sorry, the right thing.
As a student of mine, I've seen some skills and some stuff in there. You know, it's a great thing as a educator to have the opportunity where you've got all of this talent and intelligence, and you just sort of have to, you can just tweak it and then help them to see,
Yeah.
set them. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
and you'll know. I mean, I didn't know I wanted to be a pastry chef. I didn't know I wanted to be a baker, but it was becoming a mother that made that dream a reality for me.
And I think the common theme is it's okay not to know. I think everyone up here said that it's okay not to know. And sometimes it's life's unexpected twists and turns where something, falls in your lap
Yeah.
or is presented to you as an opportunity that you just gotta kind of jump in and believe in yourself, right? And all the skills that you've built and all the networking you've done, and just really believe in yourself and what you can do.
Our just one quick add is that I feel like our culture and our society is built for us to always have an answer and always know. You go to, I've got two young kids right now, and we're starting to talk about, what do you want to do? You're expected at the age of 4 to know, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor. You go to high school, you're sitting with teachers going, what are you going to do? Your parents are pressuring you. What are you, and I just, reiterate, I think it's okay not to know and not to have an answer. When your friend asks, and yes, there's lots of people who gloat that know exactly what they want to do and they know exactly the program they want to take. I have so many friends, my wife included, who went to school to be a police officer, that went, what the hell am I doing? This is the worst, like not for me at all. Stopped and went back to school for university and a communications degree. Then what am I going to do? And then was a teacher, and then worked in insurance, and then was a teacher. So I see it through my own life, and I can feel that pressure. It's okay not to know.
I'd like to add
Go ahead, Leslie. Yeah.
another little story. My son went to Queens and studied political science. So I thought, oh, he's going to be a lawyer. Great. I really wanted to be a pharmacist because I want him to be in some business that he would have a long-term career and do something like General Motors was so up and down with oh, we're closing the plant. Oh, now we're opening again. We have money. It was a roller coaster in the automotive industry. Okay. So I didn't want my kids to go down that path. Anyhow, he graduated. He worked for the past 10 years in a corporate job in Toronto. And in September, he came to me and he said, I want to join your company. And I said, well, you're giving away a lot here. And he said, nope, I can take pure and simple Oshawa to the next level. And he has. He quit his corporate job after 10 years, terrified. And he's now taking our business to the next level.
We have 15 minutes, by the way. So just, are we good?
I was going to say I've got one
Go
more
ahead, Eric.
question here that I want to ask everyone. So, what have you learned about yourself along the way? This is a tough one to answer because I'm sure it's lots. Lots is the answer. But is there anything you want to share? And maybe we'll go online
Kirsten?
to Kirsten.
Kirsten, you ready? You ready to take that, pass? Skate with
Yeah.
it. Skate with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I've learned most through when I've failed, and I say failed quite loosely because I think when I failed, it's actually led me to where I should be or have wanted to be, but in a roundabout way. I realized, and I think it comes back to, I think it was Samantha's question that we were talking about resilience. I learned about myself. I gained this self-awareness of what I can handle and what not getting that job or making a mistake at work is not the end of the world. It's what you do after. So I think for me, that's really what I've learned is the action off the back of those things that happen is more important than those things actually happening. Is what do you learn from it, or how do you react to it, or how do you pick yourself up and find that grit within you to keep going and keep your eye on the prize is probably one of the biggest things I learned. I didn't think I had that in me until you go through it. And I think just generally in terms of the people I looked up to in my career and going, wow, they've all got it figured out. Like these leaders are so impressive, so incredible. As I've become a leader in the space, I realize that no one has it figured out, that actually everyone is just winging it a little bit. and it humanizes people for me. And I go, okay, I feel the same. So actually I am where I need to be. And I've learned that, you just got to ride that wave massively and just keep going and back yourself.
I love what you said there. I think you've said a lot of what we all feel at times. And particularly I'm really drawn to when you said it's what you do after that really matters.
Yeah,
Marianne?
and just to that point, exactly what Kristen said. You don't know how strong you are until you're faced with something you've got to overcome. Back in 2015, there's a large fire downtown Whitby that took out my bakery, and I lost everything and had to rebuild. But I consciously made that choice to rebuild because I knew I was strong, but I didn't know how strong I was. And until that happened, you find how strong you can actually be. And yeah, it's the resilience. That's what I've learned about myself is you can throw anything at me now. I mean, I lost everything in a fire. I got this. Like I've got it.
Yeah, I have a similar story. Definitely, I have perseverance and determination because I'm a single woman who decided to invest everything in a franchise. And it's like you invested in a stock in the stock market and it crashed because I opened in June of 2019 and 8 months later, a pandemic came.
Wow.
I went from a GM paycheck to zero in 8 months. I thought I would lose the business. I thought I would lose my home, and I didn't. I didn't. I actually I had to keep my door locked. People were not allowed to come in during the shutdown, but I still got up every day. I got dressed and I got out and I went to the spot in my uniform and I trained myself on other things at the computer. And clients would stop by and knock on the door and ask me how I was doing, or clients would ask, "Can you deliver a product to my porch?" And I was driving an hour to Toronto, to Scarborough, wherever I could go to just keep myself busy, keep my mind busy, and just believe that I will get through this. And here we are today.
I can say to my students here and in the Cosmos and watching the recording later, because there are many more other students just watching the recording. What you just heard Leslie say is gold plus silver plus blondes plus every other rare mineral you're ever going to get in terms of a classroom, which is you just show up no matter what happens. And that is a remarkable story. And thank you for giving this to the students. No PowerPoint, no anything is going to be as strong as what you just heard direct from the source. That's real as it gets.
Adam?
Thank you.
I actually wish I had this conversation when I was in school. I truly, I guess, learned about myself, and I've shared this multiple times, but that maybe not about myself, but about the world, that it is not linear at all. And this just going back and like, not to sound cheesy and wrap this up, but like the zigzag, I didn't understand that. I didn't know that. I really thought what we were talking about, you pick your dream, you go to your dream, you either fail or you win, and that is life. So nothing is linear. We are on a beautiful journey. When you start thinking that way, it just changes your perspective on everything. Get stuck in those corners and get stuck in the failures. And I will completely agree that hard to sit and take all the time. But when you think back, and I'm 40, as I said, and I can look back, my biggest learnings and discoveries have been in those low moments. And how you rise from those and build and empower others and continue to lift others up, and how you come back from a bad spot is I think what defines you as a person. Yeah, keep on keeping on.
Thank you, Adam. 10 minutes,
Better,
okay?
better.
Just be aware. Yeah. Anybody else? Any of the other students or anybody back here in the sort of semi-cosmos? The cosmos is online and then asynchronously. They're in another solar system, but they're with us.
And we also have some time to network as well. We'll leave a few minutes for
Great.
anybody if they want to informally ask.
Yes.
questions as well.
Get the microphone over there and do you want to? Well, yes and no. It's better that the tech work. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, Crumbus.
Okay, this is
Right.
just
That
the
sounds-
alumni side of me, just bringing out something else. But I just wanted to say, as a DC student and as an alumni, you will always have the services of career development. So if at any point in your journey, your path changes and you need help with your resume, your cover letter, interviewing skills, it's a service that's available to you forever and ever. So reach out to our friends in career development if that happens to come your way.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. Any questions, or do we want to?
We can move it
few
on and
minutes
see
to
what's
network.
happening on anything in the live chat. No, we're good. Kirsten's
We have
still there.
Lucy.
Okay, we'll
Who's
come
got
to
a question?
Kirsten. Yeah, go.
I just
go ahead.
wanted to add to that, and to invite everybody to an event that we're hosting tomorrow, that Tanya is actually hosting. Not to put her on the spot, but
Yeah.
do you want to?
Please, yeah. Human connection, networking. It's all
Nothing
about
like
that.
being put on the spot. Tomorrow, I will be hosting Pitch Perfect, which is an opportunity for students to practice their elevator pitches in real time. So I, set up the stage. It's an hour long tomorrow night at 5 o'clock in the SIR building, 102. You can log on through the Hired portal for students or alumni. But basically, what I do, it's kind of like speed dating, where I give everybody a little bit of time to understand what the concept is, set everybody up in a really comfortable environment, and give each person an opportunity to introduce themselves like their elevator pitch.
Yeah.
And students get a chance to do this at least 12 switches. So you get to meet other students and feel more comfortable in those introductions.
Great idea.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lucy.
Good.
I would just say, like, be confident. You guys have gained some really, really valuable skills in your time here at Durham College. Be confident in yourself, try new things, take those risks, embrace the challenges. I think that's, what really came out of today for me is just there's no straight path, and it's all the things that you encounter along the way that really make who you become.
Maybe on that note, we should conclude and then we can do the networking like we did last time, and I'll end the class. I'll put everything on mute in here so that the students here can come and speak one-on-one with Adam and everybody else. And we will see that on YouTube, but we won't hear anything. So it'll look like as it is in this space. It's a big alive think tank, but you'll have the privacy in the sense that you won't be heard. You'll
Sounds
just be
good.
seen. Okay.
And thank you to all of our panelists, to Adam, Carrie Ann, Leslie, and Kirsten. It's been a pleasure getting to learn about you and your journeys. And thank you for being so real and authentic and sharing that it's not always perfect. I think there's a lot to take away from that. So
Thank you. We'll give a hand. And Kirsten, are you okay if we leave now? And thank you for sharing all of that. The recording will be available. And for all of you, thank you again. And remember, the world is volatile today, and all of these skills are going to be more useful than ever out there. So on that note, I'm going to mute, and please feel free, everyone in person here, to come up one-on-one with anyone and network. Go ahead.
Thanks
you.
very much. Bye.
Yeah.